quick statement from him and then go into questions.
First of all, thank you everybody for coming. Thanks for adjusting your schedules. We felt it was the safest thing to do for all of our players and families and even fans to be able to have that in the indoor. You know, when we had to decide, you have to decide days in advance, and the way the storm was coming and what it was going to look like and how long it lasted. You know, we felt this was the best way to be able to keep our players safe, all the fans coming to the game. And then obviously with the players' families and things like that. So I thought it turned out really good. I thought the Big Ten Network did a great job in making it work in an indoor. I thought that our operational department did a tremendous job of making sure how it fit with all those people in there and to keep our players safe. So player safety was the first thing that we wanted to be able to take care of. And sooner or later, this April storm will not affect our spring game anymore. Supposedly, it's what I was told. We averaged less than 1 inch in April a year, except for last year, 22 inches, and now 10. So, but hopefully that'll be able to change its best and move on and get out of here as we continue to move forward and we make some changes towards the spring game next year. But really pleased with our players, really pleased with their efforts. I thought our coaches did a really good job. Teams very evenly matched when you looked at it. So this is the only time I really go home happy because it's such a mix of really good players. You take the good with the bad. There are some takeaways which you want to see from the defense. There were some big plays by the offense. Special teams, I thought Jacob Berbers punted the ball fantastically. And there was just a lot of fun things out there. I wanted the players to have fun. You know, football is a fun game. Sometimes we take that word fun out of it, and I'm not sure why. I want our players at the University of Minnesota always have fun. I want them to approach it in a very unique way, a very mature way. But if we're not having fun, then we're not playing football the right way, in my opinion, not at the University of Minnesota in our culture. So I thought they really embraced that. They treated it like a game day, prepared like that. And I thought our coaches did a great job. Coach Patterson called it for one team. Coach Simon called it for another team. Coach Rossi was the head football coach on one side, and Coach Rocco was the head football coach on the other side. And it just gave them opportunities to call plays and continue to grow in their development as well. A lot of things. I'm sure you got a lot of questions, but very pleased. I thought we had a tremendous spring. We did exactly what we said we wanted to do. We accomplished everything we wanted to do. We're a better football team now than we were at the beginning of the spring, and all that does is give us just another chance. Doesn't promise us anything. It just gives us another chance. And if you can keep stacking chances on top of each other, you have a better chance. And that's all we want to continue to do. Change our best, continue to be better academically, athletically, socially, spiritually, and do everything we can to make this football team elite. So with that, open it for questions. I thought they did a lot of really good things. They both had an interception. One was catastrophic. One was another pick. But again, when you look at both of them, I thought they completed balls they needed to complete. I thought they ran the offense very effectively. We didn't have any delay of games. I thought they were very poised. When you have the offensive line that you have, I mean, it's a mixture of all types of guys. You got ones, twos, threes, all playing together. You can see where the pressure's coming from. You can kind of understand when that happens, but it's good for them. You know, it's good for them. You know, when we have the one offensive line, you hope we don't get sacked that much, but it helps them be able to come back and respond, put you in a lot of second and longs, and I thought they handled that very well. But for the most part, I thought both of them played really well. There's some things to get better at, which we'll obviously clean up. They completed a lot of balls down the field, which I wanted to see. Our down the field pass game has to be more efficient, and I thought they did that. Well, absolutely. You know, you got to have. We've been studying this basketball tournament for the last month, right? March Madness, and it's amazing because when you get into the big games, you get into the tournament, your best players make the biggest plays at the biggest moments, and that's one thing to say it, right? That's a saying, right? It's just a quote. It's just a Fleckism, whatever it is, but when you actually understand, and you constantly show them the pressure they're under, the doubt they're under, the less than 1% chance now they have to win, and they find a way to win. Most games are lost, not won. The games that the champions win, they go win, right? They don't allow somebody to beat them. They don't lose it themselves. Virginia was a perfect example of that as they went through the tournament. There were 2 instances where they had a less than a 6% chance of winning in the final minute, and they won because their best players played the best in the biggest moments. So who wants to go to the free throw line when we need 3 free throws? Who wants to go to the free throw line when you need one to make all 3? Who wants to make that winning shot? Who wants that ball in that scenario? And I think we have way more players that want that. It's one thing to want it, need it, and then you have to go do it. And with Tyler Johnson, with Rashad Bateman, which you saw today, he was the Sid Hartman spring game MVP with 10 catches over 160 yards. Tyler stopped playing earlier. He was on pace to probably break that, but we pulled him out a little early. But you want your best players to be playing their best when you get to the season, and then obviously when you get to October and November. So we're on our way. We're still developing. We're not anywhere close where we need to be, but I like the way this team is trending. I think sometimes we all forget, which I remind you all the time, so you can't really forget. We're the youngest team in America last year. Even as a staff, when we evaluate our players, we're sitting there at our staff meeting going, oh, don't forget, guys, that kid is 18 years old. And he's put in a role that you have to perform and be at this level all the time. I think what we did last year was remarkable. People say 7 to 6, we won the Axe, I'm not sure why we say to that. I mean, that hasn't happened in 15 years. So, but when you sit there and look at the amount of young players that were on the field when you beat Wisconsin, when you win your bowl game, and they get it, and the light bulb goes off, now they carry that over. They change their best. They continue to grow. They mature. They have more confidence. And now all of a sudden, they're a dangerous player for a lot of years. And that's what we're investing in. We invested in youth. We invested in our upperclassmen, the Tyler Johnsons, the Thomas Barbers, the Kamal Martins, the Carter Coughlins. You invest in those guys, the Rodney Smiths and the Shannon Brooks, and those guys have to be the spirit of it. They've got to lead it. But those young guys, they have to be able to be put in those positions to perform, and they have. But I think they've taken the next right step, and we've got a lot better. We have to get a lot better in the summer. Have to have a dynamite summer, and then springboard ourselves into training camp.
How do you think the ceiling is for Boyan?
As high as he wants it to be. There is no ceiling for him, and he's a special talent that comes around not very often, and he's got a lot of room to grow. But we're going to move him inside at times this year. He's going to be outside. He might be one of the most valuable players on our defensive side this year. When you're in spring ball, you have 1s, you have 2s, you have 3s, things like that. We don't have 1, 2s, and 3s at our position. We don't, because we're going to move those guys around. We're going to find a way to get penetration. We're going to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback on third down, and which will be a little bit different than what we did last year. We've changed a lot of some schematics on that as well. So. But we've got to – he has come a long way. We're talking about a young man who lost his mother 2 years ago and had to be able – the anniversary was a few days ago. And you talk about a young man going through life even without his mom and how close he is. And even though he's close to home, that's very difficult to do. And he just puts his oar in the water every single day, keeps rowing the boat. He's got tons of energy. Watch how he plays. Man, he plays the game the right way. He has so much fun out there. And his response is getting better to all the things that might not necessarily go his way. Getting better. Rodney's way further ahead than Shannon just because of when the injury happened and the surgery. I think Rodney's close to being cleared, but we're not clearing him. I refuse to be able to say, oh, he's cleared? Yeah, push him. Let's get him out here. We're taking our time with both of them. Shannon's a little bit more behind Rodney. But again, we're going to let those guys develop. You got Muhammad Ibrahim. You got Bryce Williams. I thought he played pretty well today, and then you're going to have guys come in here. Trey Potts, you haven't even seen Trey Potts yet. He was hurt from high school. He was recovering. He's getting far as long as probably Rodney. You'll see him. Cam Wiley hasn't even joined us yet from Las Vegas. He'll be here in June. So you got a lot of guys in the mix there. Preston Jellin had a really good day today. Who knows? We might even find a way to get Sentaga back there. But we're deep there, but you can't be deep enough at running back. And they're all going to get plenty of carries. We're going to need them all, just like our quarterbacks. We're going to need both guys at some point. And I think they're both getting better at an equal level, so you're not seeing that one guy just jump out and say, that's the guy. They're both improving, and that's a credit to Kirk Shiraka and our entire offensive staff of what they're doing. So, any others? All right, row the boat, Schema. Go Gophers. Thanks, everybody.